All right, everybody. Hey, guys. Episode 5. I told you I'm going to have, great hosts. I'm going to have a lot of guests on here that, knows the game of basketball, football, what have you. I got a special guest today, man. So it's actually a guy who I look up to like a mentor, big brother, what have you. Division I coach at Louisiana Tech University. Where Carl Malone played, for y'all who may not be familiar. Big program, a lot of history going on. His name is Talvin Hester, man. Talvin, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Cliff?
Oh, man, nothing much, man. As we know, we're in a time that definitely is set a new precedence in a lot of ways, and we'll kind of discuss, how that's so. But, yeah, man, so how you holding up out there in Ruston, man?
Man, really good, man. I think that the thing that we're trying to wrap our minds around now is what's next for school. I think we've moved past the athletic part of it and just trying to figure out what's best for the students on the day-to-day. And the university is kind of meeting on that to come up with the answers. But that's kind of the space we're in now, and once we get answers, we'll move forward.
And that's good, man. I'm glad you touched on that, man, because I think in a lot of ways we kind of miss out on the student-athlete aspect of it. Basketball gets, people are very much vivacious fans of the game, and you get caught up in your team, the player you like, and all that, but you forget about the aspect that a lot of these guys aren't going to the league, so you got to go to class, you got to actually learn something. So I'm glad you highlighted on the fact that these guys got to still have a sense of normalcy, even though they aren't doing what they love to do most, which is play basketball.
No doubt. And I think people forget that once they leave these arenas and the court, that they're on campuses full of students and faculty and things of that nature. And those things have to be taken accounted for,
Absolutely, man. And so, I guess, we're day 3 into the, I guess you can call it the hysteria era. And this kind of just reminds me, man, so for those who don't know, Talvin was actually one of my coaches when I played at Prairie View. And we had something similar in the most minute way you could compare. But we had Hurricane Rita, and we had to evacuate campus for a week. And it got kind of bad with the fact that, to commute from, say, an hour's commute in normal time, it took about 10, 12 hours. And so nobody knew what was going on. We missed practice for a week, if you remember, Talvin. How would you kind of say this compares to that time that we had?
I think the only thing that's comparable is the unknown. I think that, when it was Rita and they canceled school and, we didn't know how far the hurricane would come into Houston. But the unknown of school being canceled, the unknown of, people were buying up gas, buying up generators, buying up groceries, and not knowing how long this stuff would last was the only thing I think is similar. I think we're in a situation right now that's completely unknown because we, in our lifetimes, or at least my young life and your young life, we've never seen anything like this.
Absolutely.
And so I think, the Rita situation where it was unknown to us, I think that's the only thing we can kind of correlate between the two, but this situation is completely unknown. I mean, to cancel every major sporting event pretty much around the world is something that, I don't know if we could have ever foreseen. And not only sporting events, music festivals and things of that nature are all being canceled. So once we can get answers, I think people will kind of, I hope, that when we get answers, people will kind of be a little more at bay, I guess I would say, to what's going on. But right now, the unknown, I think, is the thing that's messing everybody up.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because, living here in the entertainment capital, Los Angeles, it is very much a weird aura over the city because, this is where everything, takes place as far as, most things I would say as far as entertainment, and everybody's shutting it down, man. I went to Aldi just yesterday, man. Lines were long as hell. And if you've ever been to Aldi, man, nobody's in Aldi ever.
That's correct.
Nobody's ever in there. And then even with Houston Rodeo being canceled, to your point, and for those who don't know, Houston Rodeo is one of the biggest events of the year. billions of dollars get generated doing this thing, and like, big performances or what have you. Lizzo's supposed to perform, and that got shut down. So the fact that that big money cash cow was shut down, it shows you how big it is. And as Talvin was saying, the unknown is the most scary part, because even me, I'm kind of a cynic, man. I was like, man, I'm not about to start preparing. But then you start feeling the hysteria. Like I said, at Aldi, took my black behind down there and made sure I got some stuff too, man. So from a coaching, yeah, man. Talvin, I want to ask you from a coaching standpoint, what do you think I know the unknown is kind of what's going on. What are the coaches kind of thinking of, I guess, the next contingency plan of, just keeping the program intact,
Well, so going back to the unknown, another unknown is the unknown date of how long this thing will take. Okay, so we don't know. I mean, right now it's all about the welfare of the kid and our students. So we're trying to get information as we speak. I mentioned earlier that school officials and upper level management, presidents, faculty, VPs are all meeting. I would imagine at schools across the country. I know Ohio has chosen to shut down schools, and a lot of school districts around Houston, Dallas, and across the country. I read something that Tulane sent their students home. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said Wiley College went all online. So this is something that we've never seen, and we're just trying to gather information so we can make educated decisions.
Yeah.
And educated decisions only based on the information we have. I just got word right now that beginning immediately, the NCAA has adopted emergency legislation for a dead period at least through April 15th. So now they're saying we are shutting this thing whole down. There's no recruiting, there's no games, and rightfully so. Like I want to make sure I'm not in harm's way also, about the students and their harm's way, and I don't until I get answers for myself and yourself and people that I know and love and care about. I would love to just get more answers. So right now we're meeting, but basically our meetings are about what things can we do at this point.
Okay.
There's no recruiting, there's no games, there's no practice, there's nothing of the sort right now, and that's what we do every day for our lives. It's our livelihood. So we're trying to figure those things out as we go.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I had to write that down as you talking about it. Like that is a huge thing for them to shut down all activities whatsoever. Man, that's some hell of a breaking news. Yeah. I gotta ingest all that. I had something I was gonna say to rebut what you said, but man, you kind of took me aback with that one.
I mean, it's taken us once I get in the office, I'm sure we'll meet after this. It's just like, what's next? I'll tell you this: the experience from the tournament cancellation. I think every student athlete, our seniors, our young guys, we're sad for our seniors, sad for our team.
Yeah, man.
We had a really good year this year. We were 22-8. We felt like we had a chance to win the tournament, our conference tournament. We felt like we had a chance this year to actually make the big dance. And we were excited about that. We felt like we were prepared for that opportunity. And for it not to go down, as a coach, the feeling inside was heart-wrenching, especially for the seniors who this was their last opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach next year, God willing, and I'm going to be a coach, but these kids don't get that opportunity as seniors again,
Definitely.
And so it was hurtful to watch them get the information. And what's, to me, kind of sad is that, before we were able to call a team meeting and gather them to give them the information, social media had already spilled all the beans. And so these guys are getting this information, and they're tore up before we ever got to tell them,
Yeah.
And, they're getting this information. It's kind of the world we live in at this point. So that was tough to deal with. And then we get, the information that they're going to cancel our tournament. Well, at that point, in our unknowing minds, we're thinking, okay, well, they have to do something. Maybe they'll postpone it. But the truth is they did what's best. And that's what, as coaches, you kind of have to try to relate to your kids and your team is that, guys, basketball is a small portion of what you'll be in your life.
Absolutely.
And we need to take care of each other and do what's smart And and this is a personal statement, but I'll say when I saw the NBA cancel games is when I knew how serious I felt it was.
Absolutely.
As much money as the NBA brings in, as much entertainment as they bring in, I think that let me know this is super serious. I would believe that they got information that of course we're not privy to. Where I'm at as an assistant coach at a university, I have probably about as much information that you have.
Mm-hmm.
What I probably have a little much more of that you don't have is the feeling of my tournament getting canceled. I said our tournament getting canceled. So I have a little more heartfelt, down feelings for our seniors and things of that nature. But as far as the information, you have as much as I have on this pandemic that we're going through right now.
Yeah, man. I think that's you touched on a lot of profound things in that whole statement, and I mean I won't put you in a position, but I'll say it. It showed me a lot because I mean you touched on the fact that these factions they make so much money off of these events, and the fact that they are willing to again, don't worry about this is my statement. This ain't yours. To not be selfish, not be greedy, and care about the actual kids. That showed me a lot because, I mean, again, as a former Division I athlete, I kind of started to understand how the dynamic worked. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, it's a two-part. It's a partnership that is laced in one entity making a lot more money than you, but but it's okay.
Stay away from that one, Cliff.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, don't worry about it. That's my statement. It ain't yours.
Yeah.
But I think you also touched on another point. Actually, on my last video, I kind of delved into this, is that basketball as it stands is way bigger than your opportunity of potentially going to the NBA. Like, and I said this again, that 1% of the guys who play in Division I basketball are going to the NBA. So there are 60 draft picks coming up in this next draft.
Picks, that's correct.
And there are how many student athletes playing Division I basketball right now? Well, 0 right now, but before 2 days ago.
You can roughly say around 15 if you count walk-ons, 14, but it's 13 scholarships. And you talk about 353 Division I schools.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Division I athletes, but the truth is, you're not only talking about athletes, and we're talking about a worldwide issue here.
Absolutely.
We're talking about, those guys going against, trying to get drafted against the Luka Doncic and the Giannis's.
Absolutely.
And so, worldwide is where you get your pool from. So, you say 1%, if that, Division I athletes, because, the world players are making a huge statement for why they should be in some of those positions. So it's tough. And like you say, it's a small part,
Absolutely. And man, because I think if one thing these guys will never forget, man, these moments like this define you. They define how you deal with adversity. As I spoke in my last video, like these are your man-setting moments, and you're dealing with a lot of young men from 18 to about 22, roughly. It's the populace of what you have. And this is a moment they won't ever forget, man. I mean, when 9/11 hit, I was in 11th grade in theater arts class, a class I did. It was a blow-off class, but I ended up liking it. R.I.P. Miss Davis. But I remember that as being a moment of when my mentality shifted from one thing to the next. At worst, I know nobody trying to hear this right now. Nobody likes to project out. It's kind of easier to live in the moment. But I think the life lesson that these brothers learned during this time period is something they're going to carry the rest of their life, man. And it may it may feel like deprivation for, a little bit. They weren't given the opportunity to go to conference tournament. Everybody wants to go to the big tournament. But I think at times like this, you really find out what's really important, what's really something that, you're about. And in a messed up fashion, I think that the fellas are going to kind of learn that lesson, man. And I just really hope that a lot of coaches are kind of instilling that in the moment, mentality to them to understand, like, hey, man, this is a moment. This ain't going to define the rest of your life. But let's focus on what happens past this point. What do you want to do? Yeah, man, because most kids just think it's basketball or bust. When it's snatched, when the rug snatched from up under you, a lot of kids, they just kind of, you've seen it how many times over, Talvin? You've been coaching forever.
Yeah.
So It's tough, man.
I'll tell you this, that is an unbelievable point, and I'm going to sound like a coach when I say this, but, I'm sure before me, we always hear coaches say, you never know when it's going to be taken from you, And for all these seniors across the country, it was literally taken from them.
Absolutely.
It was taken from them. And so coaches used to always say, man, give your all. Give it everything you got every day, because something you love eventually is going to end. That ball is going to stop bouncing. Yeah. And unfortunately, it had to be for those seniors this way,
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And one thing I like to try to do is not get so caught up in anything adverse that happens to me, to get caught in the moment and feel sorry for myself. You always got to look forward, look to that next pillar. And I know amongst the coaching circle, you may not be a big fan of LeVar Ball, but one thing I do admire is, like, whatever happens, he tells his kids to move forward. Move forward. Like, hey, you can't help the moment right now. Don't let people feel sorry for you. What's next? What's next?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's a life thing that people have to realize. Life is not about what happened to you. It's more about how you respond to what happens to you.
Absolutely.
And I think if you take successful people, they're responders. They're great responders to what happens in life.
Absolutely.
As opposed to the type of people who be like, woe is me, oh my goodness, this happened to me, I can't get over it. Because life is about moving on. Because you can't get the past back.
Man, in this past year and a half, boy, do I know that lesson. I mean, I'll keep it light. One of my best friends passed in the past year and some change. And I mean, you see what shirt I got on. Well, you can't see it, Talvin, but I got my Rest in Peace Kobe shirt on. Right. That's been my favorite player forever. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, forever, man. Yeah, man. So everybody know me. People calling me like, one of my close friends died. I was just like, man, I'm all right, but life move on. If nothing showed you that life didn't move on, or life moved on past Kobe's death, a larger than life figure, you have to understand your own mortality. You have to understand the big picture in your own space. So, yeah, man.
No doubt. There was a coach I worked under, a great coach I worked under, and he used to always say, and this is what I think made him a great coach, is he was all about the team. He was all about, you have to be here for the team. And we live in an individualistic society,
Absolutely.
People are, what's in it for me? But he was all about the team. He used to always say, son, it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
When you stop playing basketball at this school, guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep playing basketball.
Absolutely.
If he said, he was always telling them, if I pass today, guess what they're going to do? They're going to mourn me for a little bit. They're going to hire a new coach. They're going to keep playing basketball.
Absolutely.
So it's not about you, and that is a lesson that I will always remember, and try to put others in front of myself. And like I say, try to think about the big picture, and not just sports, but in life and organizations and things of that nature. So
absolutely. And now, would that be Coach McGraw that we're referencing?
It wouldn't be McGraw.
Oh, it was McGraw. Okay.
It wasn't McGraw.
Okay, all right.
It was one of my bosses at Division I, and that's
okay.
It's hard to catch, man. I don't know if he would want me to quote.
Oh, that's cool, man. No, that's all right.
So I didn't want to put his name out there, but of course everyone knows who he is. If they want to look at my resume, then you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got a good idea. But yeah, man, Talvin. Yeah, man. Unless you got anything else to add, man, I think we went a lot deeper than I thought with great information that people can take, no matter if they have the experience to coach, play, be associated with this level of basketball or not. And I want to thank you for that, man. Which I knew it would go this way. I didn't know exactly how. I didn't know what how the minutia would fulfill for this, but man, this has been dope, man. I appreciate you taking time and talking with me, man.
Well, I'll tell you this. I saw somebody put on social media yesterday. I watch sports every night. What am I going to do now? There's literally no sports on TV. Old games, but and this is just my opinion of it. I think this is a time when you can start, doing things you want to do, contacting people you care and love, and making sure they're okay, reaching out to people. For people with kids, doing things with your kids, and you probably would be watching a game just really enjoying and embracing the people around you, because we don't know what's going on right now until we figure that out.
Absolutely.
And I think it's time where we can, being smarter and about how we do it. Just kind of embrace the people you love and care about, enjoy them, and let that be your joy, other than outside activity like sports and things of that nature. So.
Yeah, man, and damn, that's another nugget, man. And I want to add on that. I want to expound.
Mm-hmm.
I think even more so than that, which obviously you damn should be talking to your people. You damn sure should be making sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly speaking to the brothers out here. This is your time to perfect your craft, man. Don't live through sports, man. Don't let sports be the thing that dumbs you down from your normal vocation. Like, whatever you're good at, man, maximize on your talent, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Kobe passing made me do this podcast. It stop and get off my ass and do it. So if this has to be the moment for you of clarity, I don't think you guys know. Like, sports were created to take your mind off your everyday ills. So with it being snatched up, the rug being snatched from up under you, this is your time to find out, hey, what am I good at? What can I build on my own? What can I give to the world off a gift that I have? Because that should be, yeah.
How many more hours in a day do you have now?
Exactly.
You sit and watch a 2-hour game, a 3-hour game.
Absolutely.
Don't give that time to social media unless that's what you do. Give that time to the people you love, the people you care about, your craft, to building a better you. Give that time to that, and you'd be amazed what we can do as a people.
Absolutely, man. So great nuggets of info there, man. I hope y'all really retain that. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not telling you how to live your life. All I can do is impart things I've learned, talk to individuals who I know, in a high standing that understand, high level thinking and what have you. So, man, I just want to thank you, man. This has been a great interview, man.
You're welcome, man. And like I say, on most of it, I don't have any answers more than what you guys have, but I just, stay close to the people you love, and we'll see what happens next. Be smart.
Bam. Well, that's it, y'all, man. Thank y'all for checking out Hoop Jargon once again. Cliff Notes. Hopefully keep this train rolling. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like what's going on. Follow Coach Hester. You got an Instagram, right, Coach?
Yeah, I do have an Instagram.
Okay, I don't know if it's your problem. Well, don't worry about all that.
No, you do. It's at TGH23.
At TGH23, man. Talvin Hester, man. It's a very solid brother, man. You may learn something. Follow him on social media, man. And check out those live tech. What's y'all mascot? I forgot y'all mascot, bro. Bulldogs. Because y'all don't have a bulldog in the logo. It's just a big old boot.
Hey, we've had a few more pros than Carl Malone, man.
You right. Paul Millsap.
You know what I'm saying?
You right.
Come on, man.
You right. Y'all the school of undersized big men. That's what y'all do, man.
You funny with that one, man.
Hey, man, tell me I'm lying.
It's probably not the school. It's probably the South or something. I don't know.
When you recruit all them mudbone Mississippi cats, man, them dudes ain't gonna walk through there with no size, man.
No comment.
All right, Talvin, man, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you too, man.
All right, man, peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.